The following pre-recorded program is a part of the video conferencing series produced by the Instructional Technology Support Center at Middle Tennessee State University. The program series provides quality educational programming for K-12 teachers and students in the region. For more information about our programming, please visit our website or contact us via email or telephone.
Welcome to the Satellite and Webcasting Center at Middle Tennessee State University. I'm Connie Schmidt, your program producer. Pat Jackson is our director. I'd like to welcome our satellite viewers, our webcasting viewers, and our cable television viewers. We invite all participants to call in with questions today on our toll-free telephone line at 1-866-904-8352. We're delighted to have back with us today Dr. Zaf Khan from the Department of Elementary and Special Education here at MTSU. He's joined in the studio by some of his MTSU education students. Today's presentation is Designing Respectable Work for All Students. If teaching is like writing a song for your students to sing, what is your song? I'm going to turn it over now to Dr. Zaf Khan.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Schmidt, and I am excited to be here today, and let me tell you why. Well, I have a very special guest, and her name is Sophia Khan. Everybody say hello to Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
All right. Well, Sophia has a task today. Sophia, by the way, is my daughter, and if you look at your PowerPoint slide number 1, you can get a better picture of her. Let me talk about respectable work. I thought about this topic long and hard. What you're about to hear today is lots of research-based, evidence-based practices, strategies. What you're going to hear today will be design principles. You're going to hear me talk about quantum stuff. And I hope at the end of this presentation you are going to rethink work. You're going to look at work as something respectable. And there is a word I use, respectable work. In order to respect students, we give them respectable work. Well, let me start out with Sophia's story. Would you like to know Sophia's story, why she's here today? Well, it's remarkable. One afternoon, after a hard day's work at MTSU, I come back home, and there is little Sophia, and she's working in my lounge area, and you got a picture of that on your slide. And she's busy working away, knitting, and I've never in my life seen Sophia so engaged, so entwined with the task at hand. And I just noticed that it went on from 5 minutes, it went on to 10 minutes, and it actually went on for a full 3 hours. My question is, Dad being the researcher, the educator, why is this happening? What is the hypothesis causing this to happen? And I found out from her through some careful questioning. So I went up to Sophia and I asked her the question, what is it that's making you sit there for so long, so engaged in this thing? And a remarkable answer came out of her mouth at that time. I don't know if she remembers that, but she said, Daddy, it's the first time I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. Yes, and that's what she said. And there comes my other son, his name's Imran, and he sits there and she starts to teach him, and he's in middle school, how to knit. And this went on and on and on. And I said, as she was knitting, what are you doing? What are you making? I mean, I was curious. And she said, don't you know? And it's on your 4th slide. I am making a purse. Yes, a purse. And so in her mind, cognitively, this purse, there it is. Yes. There she's all excited. And here's the end product. But as she was engaged in that process, it took time. It took energy. This was day 1. And after 3 weeks of doing this, she made the purse, hence the purse. And that was something small. So my question was, why was Sophia so engaged in this so much than mathematics, than a worksheet activity? And I went back to my textbook. I went back to my articles, my journals of what great researchers do, and I found some design principles. I found some reasons behind her motivation to do what she's doing. And what I hope to share with you today is to share that motivation and the desire to do this type of work in your classroom. So we're going to take this and find out what's embedded in this task that Sophia does that we could translate into practice into your teaching. I hope also to bring several examples. I'm also going to talk to you about the Ron Clark School of Academy, where I had an awesome opportunity to meet and greet some of the finest teachers about work and how they use work later on in the presentation. So Sophia's story continues, and now what you see in front of her, if the camera can zoom in, this is Sophia right now, engaging and continuing her skill at knitting. Now, by the way, you're probably asking, why is she knitting? This was an after-school activity that she stayed in late in the afternoons and she was busy working with. And I cannot do that. My wife cannot do this, but it's something she takes special pride in. So, Sophia, I'm going to ask you a question. What are you making?
I'm making a scarf.
A little louder.
I'm making a scarf.
Oh, she's making a scarf. And why do you like to make a scarf? What?
Because it will keep me warm in the winter.
Oh, it's going to keep me warm in the winter. So there is purpose. She's already seen that. And why do you like to knit?
Because it's fun.
It's a lot of fun. Okay, so there is a fun factor. And by the way, she just sits at home and she knits and knits and knits, and she enjoys that a lot. So what is the problem, America? Well, here's the problem. Number one, we are inundated with worksheets. I call it worksheet valley, worksheet mania. Students are disenfranchised from the curriculum. We have a model right now called one size fits all. We have unmotivated students. I see you shaking your heads. Yes, I agree, and you agree. Here's something very interesting on Respectable work. The focus is only on teacher performance in a lot of schools. It's not so much on student performance. It's principal evaluating teacher performance, not evaluating student performance. See the difference? Also, you're going to find across classrooms I've visited, there's fragmented work, a piecemeal approach, a little of this, a little of that, and hopefully something will stick. Classroom work does not have any inherent meaning or immediate value. Students cannot find that immediate value, that inherent value, that stuff that's built into it. What I found also was something very interesting. I call it intent versus impact. There is this warfare going on in classroom today called the intent warfare versus the impact warfare. Let me talk to you about that warfare. Teachers have good intentions, but they're not making impact. I'll say that again. Teachers have wonderful intentions, but they're not making any impact. And how do we do that, folks? It starts with respectable work, work like you see Sophia doing today, and it continues. So what I've done is I've captured my presentation today. I'm going to call it quantum work. You're not going to find this anywhere else but just with Dr. Khan. This is my model. This is what I have developed over time, and I've put it together in a framework so that you can try to conceptualize and try to understand what it is. So I went to the research and I looked at this wonderful word called quantum. And here's what quantum says. Quantum involves energy. Wow, it also involves momentum. So I took the word energy and I said, hey, the energy is the value in the work. The momentum is motivation to complete the work. And then I said, hey, wouldn't it be pretty cool to come up with another word? And I came up with the word quant. Yes, a quant is, in my definition, is compelling student-produced, engaging, authentic classroom work that is facilitated by a goal-oriented educator that leads to high-quality student performance. Wow. And if you can see this, let's emphasize the word authentic. How does this translate into practice? Where does this go beyond your classroom? And the thing that follows this trail is high-quality work. High-quality work, work that is top-notch. top-notch work. For example, I was involved in a PBL activity called problem-based learning in Williamson County at one point with the Harpeth River Project, where students were engaged in trying to save the Harpeth River. A noble effort, a real effort, where you can see purpose, you can see definite a beginning and an end, and there existed a problem. This is an example of a quant task because it's authentic, it's real life, it's respectable, it's goal-oriented, and it has high-quality outputs. Do you see that? Okay? So, in talking about this word quant, I had to come up with principles. And here are some principles that I have drawn from the literature review, several articles that I've read, and a lot of experience goes into a lot of these principles. Number one, did you know that students learn from engaging work that they produce? We have to produce something in the class. Did you also know that teachers should be inventors of work, and they should also act as leaders for creating the student work, not just teaching? Number three, the quality of work students produces depend on the level of task engagement. Is that if I put more effort into my work, the possibility, and I could confidently predict that my quality of work would also increase. Number four, did you know that students are inspired to do quality work when teacher has high performance expectations of them? Hello, that's pretty obvious. Number five, assigned work must have clear meaning and immediate value to students. This is the stuff educators and teachers have a tough time working on. So you're probably wondering, well, Dr. Khan, this is all well and good, but let's get real. What about the basics? What about things that they just have to learn? Well, I'm going to talk to you about that later. Okay? Number seven, in our quant principles, students' effort in producing quality work must have some sort of positive consequence. Notice, not negative, positive consequence at the end. They have to feel good about the products they create. Number eight, student performance is assessed frequently, and feedback is given immediate in real time as it is happening. Okay? Progress monitoring improves quality of student work. Here's something you need to know about research. Did you know that if you progress monitor a student at least once a week using data points, letting them know where they are, and if you share that progress monitoring with the students about exactly where they are, research says that achievement scores will go up by 1 standard deviation. Wow. Just by doing that one thing, you don't have to teach. Just progress monitor, 1 standard deviation difference in achievement scores. Okay? Number 10, work design is responsive to students' needs and outcomes. That means I need to consider the interests of the students and the learning style. Did you also know that planning for student engagement takes precedence over learning? Right now we have it the other way around, learning before the work. And last but not least, I'm going to emphasize this point, and I'm going to say it slowly. Number 12, the teacher's performance is less important than student performance. How many of you agree? Thank you. Thank you.